continue with Isaiah's prophecies. He's already talked about the child that will be born, that we know will be Jesus. And then he talks about what happens to this child as he grows into a man. We have the fortune today of being post-resurrectionists. We know what happened to Jesus, but listen for a moment to what Isaiah wrote in chapter 53, verses 7 through 9. It's called the suffering servant. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to slaughter, and like a sheep that before its shearers is silent, he did not open his mouth. By a perversion of justice he was taken away. Who could have imagined his future? For he was cut off from the land of the living, stricken for the transgression of my people. They made his grave with the wicked and his tomb with the rich. Although he had done no violence, there was no deceit in his mouth. We know, having just celebrated Easter, what happens to Jesus on Good Friday, and Isaiah is writing about the exact thing that will happen to the Messiah. He then goes on in verses 10 and 11 to say this: "Yet it is the will of the Lord to crush him with pain. When you make his life an offering for sin, he shall see his offering and shall prolong his days. Through him the will of the Lord shall prosper. Out of his anguish we shall see light. He shall find satisfaction through his knowledge. The righteous one, my servant, shall make many righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities." We know that Christ died for us. He took our sin upon his shoulders, and Isaiah is writing about this very man who won't come for another few hundred years. Isn't that amazing? What a spectacular prophet Isaiah was. The future has now been told. This book of the Old Testament matches some of the comments that are made in Revelation in the New Testament. Isaiah is saying, be faithful. Hold to what you know is true. Don't be distracted by other voices. And don't worry about what's going on in the world. Why? Because God is in control and is bringing about his promises in the only way that it will work, which is beyond our human imagination. Today, we must trust that God is still working this out for us, his people today. This weekend, I'm going to challenge you to pick up your Bible and read part of Isaiah. Try chapters 6, 9, and 53, and you will see hope for our future today. Have a great weekend, friends.